Alright, welcome back to our life, beginnings and always. Let's see. Where we left off from before, we left off to in the ending of step number 2. Summer ended, and we are now 13, and Cove is now 13 as well. And we're on a new chapter here. So let's get started. We did the we basically did the beginning of step 3 to before the actual moments. So let's get to the actual moment. If this is it. I don't know if this is it. No? Okay. Menu. Yeah, okay. Load. Is it this one? It is this one. Okay. Alright. The family trip, shopping trip had lasted most of the morning, and you still had to upload everything from the trunk before you could enjoy the afternoon. Let's see, move this out of the way here. Try to move this in there. Okay. That was not good. Try to get relaxed here. Alright. Okay. Okay. Alright. There, that's better. Missed something? Alright, I read the last part. Okay. You cradled another bag on your arms as you head towards your house. It was one of the heavier bags from the grocery store, loaded with fresh apples, ripe tomatoes, a bunch of carrots, and even half a watermelon. Ma came out the front door and paused just ahead of you.
It's no trouble.
Need any help with that, Chippy? I can bring it the rest of the way if you want me to, says Ma. How nice of you. Okay. Yes, please. It's too heavy. Ma stepped forward to take the bag from your arms, and you headed back to the car to grab a new one. This time you got a smaller bag with a loaf of fresh bread and a couple of packets of dried pasta spiros. You passed Ma again on your way back to the house, and she gave you an encouraging grin and wrestled her fingers through your brown hair. You set the next bag on the counter. Your older sister began to root around inside the contents with a sigh.
Ah.
How much is left? Says Elizabeth. Still a few more bags. With a huff and a puff, Elizabeth continued putting away the groceries, and you retreated out of the kitchen before you could become the target of her bad mood.
Be careful!
Careful, Chippy. You hadn't been looking where you were going and bumped right into Mom, almost stepping on her toes to boot. Sorry, Mom. I can give you a pass this time, but be sure to watch where you're going. If you run into the wrong person, you might get your license revoked, says Mom. She grinned at the bad joke as you continued through the door. Outside, Ma started organizing the remained and putting back any loose objects that had fallen out during the trip. When you stepped up to the trunk beside her, she took in a big breath of air, her dress gently swaying around in the breeze.
That's a shame.
It's a shame we had to spend the morning cooped up in that shopping center. It's a beautiful day, don't you think? You tilted your head to the sky, gazing at the clear blue expanse. Okay. I wish it was raining. You let out a sigh, searching the skies for any sign of fluffy gray rain cloud. Maybe we'll get a sun shower one of these days, says Ma. You perked up at that, hoping it were true. It'd be refreshing change right about now. Renewed enthusiasm, you returned back to the trunk to help Ma with the last of the bags. Oh, hi, Cole. Oh, excuse me. You noticed Mom wave over at Cove, who had just exited the front door. His surfboard propped up under one arm. Let me see. Surfboard and wetsuit. Where might you be off to this beautiful day? Says Mom. Cove instantly startled, not having realized your family was out here. Even though your mom who called out you were the one he looked at. He tried to settle down again. He jogged across the pavement to properly say hello to you and your parents. It was decidedly awkward since Cove had trouble figuring out how close to stand to you. In addition of his unwieldy surfboard made the whole thing seem even clumsier. Careful with that thing. You'll put someone's eye out. Mom chuckled and got a whispered reproach from Ma for it.
Pam!
Please, Pam, please go easy on him, says Mom. Cove witched. Sorry, Miss Prince, says Cove. Don't mind her, honey. It's a beautiful day for surfing. I haven't been out on the waves in a long time. I'm jealous, says Mom. Yeah, I'm hoping to get a few good waves before it gets dark. Hi, Cove. He had relaxed a lot when Ma spoke to him, but Richard came back as soon as you said something.
Hey.
Hi, Chippy. Cove managed to grin, and it almost felt like you had butterflies in your stomach. Do you want to come hang out there later? You noticed the flush of red on his cheeks, but that might have just been from the heat. Sure, I'll meet you there when we're done. Cool, says Cove. When he spoke again, he tried to contain some of the excitement that was clearly ready to burst. It'll be fun, says Cove. You're not done unloading, right? Can I help? Says Cove.
No.
This is our job. You go enjoy the beach, says Mom. Chippy can catch up as soon as he is finished here. Alright, I'll see you, says Cove. Yeah, bye for now. Cove headed on down the beach with more skip in his step than normal. It was really cute. You smiled softly to yourself at the thought that you'd be joining him soon. You sure seemed to perk up after you agreed to meet him there. I wonder why that could be. Ma, who's giving me a hard time? Monty.
Shush!
It's different, says Mom. Mom's face broke into the incredulous grin. In what way, says Mom? I'm being supportive, and he can't hear it, says Mom. Mom, full of laughed that time.
Lonnie!
You're the worst of us when it comes to this, honestly. I keep trying to warn people, but they won't listen, says Mom. I only want to help. I think it's fair to say he might need it, says Mom. Miller. But you have a point, says Mom. Right, says Mom. You narrowed your eyes at their teasing, and they simply chuckled conspiratorially before taking more bags from the trunk and heading inside. Once everything had finally been taken in and put away, you got yourself ready to meet Cove at the beach. Okay. You weren't sure what you were going to do. He was surfing and you didn't know how. You said the same thing to your parents, and when Ma laughed a little, Mom gave you a smile.
Well,
You'll have to go there and see what happens, says Mom. Cove must have been so excited to invite you there that he forgot you don't surf, says Mom. Or he's hoping you'll go to watch him so he can show off, says Mom. Oh yes, I used to do that, says Mom. I know, hun. I experienced Chippy's situation firsthand. I was stuck on the shore too, says Mom. You notice what I was doing, says Mom. Yes. After the very first time, it's not subtle. It's not a subtle move, says Mom. How embarrassing, says Mom. I was still impressed, says Mom.
aww.
Aw, thank you, said Mom. Wow, Ma.
Hey,
Hey, what are you still doing here? Come on, have fun, says Mom. You're only young once, but don't do anything I wouldn't have, says Mom. Okay. If your parents prodding you, hurried to leave the house and head down to the beach. When you arrived at the shore, you were greeted by the crash of waves and the soft calls of seagulls. You took in a lungful of ocean air and felt your skin warm in the sun. You noticed a small set nearby with a towel, some sunscreen, and a bottle of water. It must be Cove's. You spotted Cove himself nearby. He hadn't gone out to sea yet. He was just sitting in the sand at the water's edge, his board propped up beside him. You scrolled up beside him. Hey, I'm here. Chippy, says Cove. He looked up at you with a smile and quickly hopped to his feet. I was wondering if you were still coming. I wouldn't have missed it. He chuckled shyly at your insistence. Okay. Then he cast his eyes towards the waves. I'll stay here and watch you surf.
oh,
Okay. You were ready to spread out your towel and take it easy.
Don't worry about it.
I don't have to go out. I'll stay with you on the shore. Or if you want, you could use one of my other boards. I could teach you. You'd rather just watch Cove surf. It's alright. You go ahead on your own. It'll be fun to see what you can do. Cove gave you a smile, but you could tell the pressure was on. He stood up straighter with new expectations for his performance. I can do that, if you're sure, says Cove. Yep. Then okay. Wave to me if you get bored or something. You set up your towel on the beach, making yourself comfortable viewing set up. If only you had brought popcorn. Cove looked strangely stiff in the water. He kept glancing back at you. You shot him a thumbs up and he raised an eyebrow. The story of your parents mentioned about their romance came back to mind, and it made you blush. Maybe he did have the same thoughts in his head. But with every wave, he seemed to relax more and more. Either he was growing less self-conscious or more used to your eyes. You started cheering him on after a really cool wave. After you cheered once, you couldn't stop. Cove kept doing impressive stuff. Every wave you clapped for him. If his surfing took your breath away, you jumped up on your feet. Cove checked in with you after some time had passed. Bored yet? I couldn't take my eyes off of you. Cove looked down, a shy smile snicking on his face. He nudged the damp sand below him idly, making a rough line. Oh well, I'm glad. He didn't look entirely convinced that just watching him could be worthwhile, but he meant it. How about you? Are you having fun?
Yeah.
I always do. I like that you're here though. He awkwardly broken eye contact after the admittance. You smiled. It felt nice to hear that. You were glad he approached your presence even if you weren't surfing like he was. Cole planted his surfboard in the sand and sat beside you. He looked towards the ocean and squinted at it in thought. You watched him somewhat confused. He was thinking something, but you didn't know what, which was unusual when it came to Cove. He muttered something to himself. Cove?
It's nice.
Oh, I was just checking out the view. You have a nice spot. Thanks. With that, Cove went back to surfing, and you continued to watch him. He tended to stay in your distant field of vision with that point on. Now you got it. You really looked like a pro out there. All in all, Cove surfing channel was better than cable. Cute. The setting sun was visible on the horizon. Every time you would look away, it had sunk a little lower. The beach was darkening but still pleasantly warm. Cole pointed out the sunset. There was something particularly striking about that day. When you glanced over at Cove, you saw a lazy smile on his face. Hey, what are you thinking about? Nothing exactly. It's just been nice. You picked up a shell and fidgeted with it. The inner part was smooth to the touch. I get that. You chatted a little more until the conversation truly died out, and all you heard was rhythmic sound of waves. Then Cove sighed. The day can't be over, not yet. He scrolled into the distance as if the sun exiting the sky was a personal offense. Don't you think it should be longer? Yeah. Cove stood up in defiance of the approaching darkness. I'm not gonna go home yet. I want to go somewhere. I don't know. Cove was still dripping in salt water. So you weren't sure what the alternative was. Wetsuits were fine for the beach and not much else. It wasn't a good idea for him to lug his surfboard around town either. I like this one. You'll be real cute in that wetsuit wherever you go. Cole's face and ears flushed red as he looked down and inspected himself. He crossed his hands over his chest self-consciously. He had been Used to wearing that, Cove had given his current choice of dress. He hadn't given his current choice of dress any thought. At least that was before you pointed it out to him. Well, you know, you would too. So, Cove's eyes winced when he processed what he just said and awkwardly decided to give up on the whole thing. Then he looked down the shore with wide, shining eyes. There's at least one place that's always okay to hang out in, no matter what time it is, the park. You nodded. The park was visually always empty. Even Elizabeth went over there. Even Elizabeth only went there nowadays if she was looking for you. Now, how times have changed. She used to be so protective of the place. In fact, the only person there was a chance of running into might be that Jeremy kid again. You brought the idea up to Cove and he cringed, but I'm still going. The sun is still there. A little. I'm staying out as long as it is. You tagged along. Okay, let's go. Cove took a minute to put his stuff in order. He made sure to get all, though didn't take much to care to shake the sand off. We dealt with their own things. It took time to pack your bag. Two of you finished about the same time. You led the way down the beach to the park. It wasn't far, so it didn't take you long at all. The sun still hadn't completely disappeared yet when you made your arrival. Cole stuck his surfboard upright in the sand and tossed his towel over the top. By now, Cove looked mostly dry. The summer breeze on your skin kept you pleasantly warm. Cove idly went over to the monkey bars. He grabbed them, feet flat on the ground, and pretended to go across. He had definitely grown in the past few years. You could barely use the monkey bars yourself. There wasn't much space at all between you and the ground. Then he got a bar in the middle. Cove pulled himself up through, then sat on top of the bars. His legs dangled off the side of the bar he perched on. Joyce joined him on the monkey bars. Cove's height advantage getting up there was more difficult. Without Cove's height, the advantage of getting up there was more difficult. But you made it. You climbed the side of the monkey bars and pulled yourself up to the top. You settled yourself in between the two slats. The skinny metal wasn't the most comfortable thing to sit on, though you enjoyed the height it gave you. Guess what? Says Cove. He smiled broadly and raised an eyebrow. He's not here, says Cove. Right. It was true. There wasn't a single sign of Jeremy. Looks like it was just going to be the two of you tonight. Cove hung his head and groaned dramatically. Your eyes widened when he whipped his head back up.
No way!
I can't believe how dumb my parents are for forcing me to come to this stupid place, says Cove. You were taken aback and blinked for a second, before you realized he was quoting Jeremy. Parents don't know anything. Cove chuckled back at you, amused. You looked around the old park, the streets you knew like the back of your hand. The beach, these were your stomping grounds. You wondered how Cove actually felt, how much he was his joke, just a joke, and how much was sincere dislike of the place. Moving never had been his choice. Do you actually like this neighborhood? Do you really have to ask that, Chippy? Cove kicked his legs crisply as they dangled. He smiled softly. I like it here. I really do. It's a nice place. He didn't hesitate. There was no uncertainty. That was his genuine opinion. You're the best thing in the neighborhood, Cove. Cove flushed and started kicking his legs wildly, like he was running into place. It didn't take long for the day to finally draw to a close. The sun was gone and it was dark. You chatted a while longer, but it was definitely winding down. We better get home. Wish the day was longer. I wish the day was longer. I wish this day was longer. His feet kicked out. It made him look like a Pootie Chow? Is that it? Pootie Chow. Okay. Oh well, says Cove. Cove sighed. It was time to go home. He hopped down from the monkey bars with a thump when his feet hit the ground. You climbed down the monkey bars yourself. You lowered yourself more slowly than Cove and barely made a sound when your feet reached the ground. Cove grabbed his surfboard and threw his towel around his neck. With his water bottle in hand, he was ready. You both began your trek up the road. It was a quiet night, and you didn't run into anyone else. In what felt like no time at all, you had reached your street. As you walked, Cove smiled to himself. It was soft. It was a soft expression, and you couldn't help but wonder what put it there. Everything okay? I just remember when we were younger, it used to be such a big deal to come home after dark. You could indeed recall. If you got sandy, your parents would have something to say. If you got wet, your parents would have more to say. And if you came home after dark, well, your mom's and his dad better have said it was okay beforehand. You used to need permission for everything. That smile comment he made exposed just how much freedom you really had this summer. Cove looked up into the sky, a smile still on his face, as the two of you walked side by side, reminiscing. When you came to your houses, you turned to each other. Thanks for today, Chippy, says Cove. Yeah, thanks for an awesome day. Cove waved and you both turned around to your respective houses. This was a pleasant end to the outing, you thought. And that's the end of it. That's the end of Wave. I'm going to save it right here for the next one, which will be growing. And if I have a chance to do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. So save it right there. There we go. Okay. So, thanks again for watching on my YouTube channel. Don't forget to click the like button and click the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And don't forget to check out my Patreon account. I will post that in the below. And I really appreciate it if you can go to my Patreon and contribute to my Patreon. Remember, everything that you donate, or I should say contribute, will go directly to charity, worthy charities, of course, local charities. So I definitely appreciate it if you can go there and contribute. I won't be seeing a penny of it myself. It's going to go directly to charity. Also, to let you know, I'm running a special on my Patreon. If you become a $25 contributor on my Patreon, you will receive a special thank you sticker, which I'm going to be working on. Trying to get somebody to make that out for me. It's going to be basically a picture of me in fursuit with a special thank you below the picture that says thank you for being a VIP contributor. So keep in touch and check out my Patreon. Go there and do that today. Alright? And I'll see you guys later.